Bisa dikat kalau ini.
Ntar.
Okay, next article. If you are already a fan of Grand Prix motorcycle racing, hitting the apex will transport you from the stand inside the garage and beyond, occasionally into the living room of the rider themselves. Any sport documentary capable of doing that must be declared a success. In North America Grand Prix, when motorcycle racing is a boutique sport more popular than Scottish cable touring, but without the rabid following of, say, Australian rules football, pretty much everywhere else on the planet. MotoGP, the sports copyright street name, unleashed the passion of millions of men and women the way NASCAR used to, used to in the US. More new, less documentary hitting the apex. The apex does for MotoGP what NFL filming does for pro football. It brings you so close the action and the riders that you feel virtually involved, and thus there are plenty of racing action. The film's most powerful moments are its most quiet, nailed by CEO producer Brad Pitt. The film people describe the process riders observe to maximize their speed in the turns where the real action takes place. The apex is the point in the curve, the instant in time when the rider having applied the brakes must be upon the throttle. The riders learn often the hard way where the apex of the curve is located. Lap times a measure 2000 of a second or 100 mph. Curve is exactly that. Go through at 99 and you lose the rest. Go through at 101. Go through at 100 and you crash. The film skillfully captured the aspect, the unforgiving nature of the stopwatch, the reality of careers measured in years, not decades. Brad Pitt is just a big Hollywood name brought our attention on sick riders. Every race since the 2001 season. HDR covered the period 2007 and 2013 and focus our attention on six riders, all of whom reside or destined for the MotoGP Legend Hall of Fame. Okay, number one, Italian Valentino Rossi, nine-time world champion across all classes, the most accomplished riders of the modern era. Australian Casey Stoner, world champion in 2007 and again in 2011. Spaniard Jos Lorenzo, world champion in 2010 and 2012 and 2015. Spaniard Danny Pedrosa, the little big man of MotoGP, winner of three world championships in the 125cc and 250cc class, but without a title on the big bikes. And Italian Marco Simoncelli, 2018 world champion in 250cc class, who lost his life at Sepang in 2011. Spaniard Marquez, the next great rider and world champion in 2013 and 2014. Historically, the film has its own epoch, arguing that the balance of power in Premier Class shifts in 2010. Otto Stoner dominated the championship for Ducati in 2007. Rossi, who had virtually owned the sport between 2001 and 2015, came back strong in 2008 and 2009, winning his two most recent titles for Yamaha in 2010. However, as Piff gravely intones the group of riders had arrived in the Premier Class who would challenge Rossi dominance, conventional wisdom suggests that competition in MotoGP is 80% rider and to 20% bike. And HTA takes us deeply behind the scene, delivering the kind of insight only available to the public in the well-made documentaries. The best way to share the beauty of HTA is a litany of the moment in the film that gave me goosebumps. Hearing Rossi describing West days as the best and the worst moment of my life while the other rider focused much of attention on the dangers attendant to traveling over 200 mph on two wheels. Rossi alone of all people listening to uncircumspect Pedrosa discovered how he was coped with 11 years of disappointment, frustration, and injury with no trace of bitter resentment. MotoGP fans without special attachment to the Dimit Spaniard will respect him more after hearing him reflect on his life and career in the sport. The two old priests in Rossi adopt hometown of Trevilla, who when Rossi wins race ring the bells in the Kirchwell before going off the local bar to drink, and his fans club, the X-Ray Lorenzo collaborate after his second fall into tweaks at the Saxon Ring in 2013. Despite a well of onboard race footage is hard convey the backbreaking reality of traveling 200 plus mph on two wheels. My own initial exposure to this camp in August 2008 when I snuck into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the test in the time to see Alex De Angelis barreling down the main straight into turn I and was absolutely blown away by the speed, the noise, and the power surrounding what these guys do every time. The film spends a good deal of its 2+ hours following the riders during the 2013 season. Marquez rookie year and the drama which resulted in him becoming the youngest Premier Class championship in history. This length segment left me sympathizing more with Lorenzo, especially Pedrosa, than standing in awe at the talent and Jones of the young Catalan Marcel Marquez. The film ends with a few frames from the 2015 season in which Yamaha teammates Rossi and Lorenzo have battled every year. What may have been one of the most rafting seasons in modern memory has been tarnished of late in a blizzard of controversy. What has suddenly become a battlefield between elder statesman Rossi and his likely successor, Marquez. A thrilling day-long battle in Australia developed into the nasty confrontation between the two in Sepang. Okay, it's over and Gani Mas fans next to interpreting.
Nah, jadi ini tadi yang bilang si Eko ini adalah tentang film Hitting the Apex. Jadi film ini tentang Hitting the Apex, film tentang dokumenter MotoGP yang disutradarai oleh Mark Neal dan dinarasikan oleh Brad Pitt. Jadi jika Anda pecinta balapan motor, film ini akan membawa Anda menuju garasi dan tempat di mana para balap ini beraksi. Di Amerika Utara, motor balap itu sangatlah dibilang olahraga yang terkenal, lebih populer dibanding Scottish Cabourn Racing itu. Terus MotoGP itu juga lebih banyak penontonnya dibanding NASCAR di Amerika. Film ini menceritakan kisah dari 6 para pembalap MotoGP yang memberitahu bagaimana susahnya dan gilanya mengendarai MotoGP itu, bagaimana bahayanya. Yang pertama ada Valentino Rossi dari Italia yang sudah menjuarai 9 kali juara dunia di semua kelas. Dan yang kedua ada Casey Stoner dari Australia yang pernah juara dunia di tahun 2007 dan lagi di tahun 2011. Yang ketiga ada Jorge Lorenzo dari Spanyol, juara dunia di tahun 2010, 2012 dan 2015. Lalu ada Dani Pedrosa dari Spanyol, si kecil tapi yang besar karirnya, tapi dia belum mendapatkan gelar juara di di kelas MotoGP, hanya di kelas 2,5 dan 125 cc. Lalu yang ketiga ada Marco Simoncelli dari Itali, juara dunia 250 cc di tahun 2008 dan meninggal dengan tragis di Sepang pada tahun 2011. Lalu terakhir ada Marc Marquez, itu dari Spanyol juga, calon juara dunia baru, dan dia adalah juara dunia tahun 2013 dan 2014. Film awalnya itu menceritakan tentang Stoner mendominasikan juara dunia dengan bersama Ducati di tahun 2007. Lalu Rossi berikutnya awal karirnya diceritakan dari tahun 2001 hingga tahun 2005. Lalu film ini juga menceritakan bahwa kompetisi ini adalah motor itu sebanyak 80% dan 20% adalah sisanya adalah 20% adalah motor dan 80-nya adalah skill dari dia sendiri. Dari film ini kita bisa mengambil beberapa cerita inti dari kisah ini. Yang pertama, mendengar Rossi menyebutkan hari balapan itu sebagai yang terbaik dan yang terburuk dalam hidupnya. Bagaimana harus fokus dalam mengendarai motor dengan kecepatan 200 mil per jam. Lalu yang kedua itu persahabatan antara Rossi dengan teman satu negaranya, Simoncelli, yang saat tragis meninggal di tahun 2011 bersamanya. Lalu ada dua orang semacam imam di tempat tinggalnya Rossi di Italia itu, yang selalu membunyikan bel lonceng gereja ketika Rossi menang. Lalu yang berikutnya itu pada akhir film ini di tahun film ini berakhir di tahun 2015, season 2015, yaitu ketika persaingan satu tim Rossi dan Lorenzo bertarung sepanjang tahun. Lalu juga tentang masalahnya Rossi dengan Marquez yang terlibat insiden di Sepang. Ya mungkin itu aja interpretnya.
Oke, thank you.
Ada bahasa basi lagi.